So yeah, Claude has finished implementing the changes. Let's quickly go over it. I opened up the Git view so we can quickly see what the changes were. But let's also see what the agent did, because like I said before, we gave the agent a lot of context on how to check if everything is working. And as you can already see, it's actually browsing the website, taking screenshots, checking that everything is there. It's checking the leaderboard if everything is there. It is checking the logs. It's also checking the database and the models themselves. And it says everything is verified and working. Tests pass, end-to-end, everything passed, no errors, API, UI, score pipeline is also working. However, it wasn't displaying the actual return columns. These were in the leaderboard earlier. Actually, they're up here, actual return and the prediction columns. They weren't showing any numbers, so there was a prompt to fix that, and it went and fixed it. Okay, so let's quickly look into what the actual changes were. So on the local environment, it now told it, it's a real-time challenge, so you can basically say where the feeds come from. That's already a feature that's shipped with, and it just added ETH/USDT there to get an extra feed in. Then I think the next one that's interesting is the crunch config. So the crunch config is like an inversion of control pattern. So basically it configurates or it allows you to configure the parameters of all of the services that are instantiated and wire them up in different ways. Most functions can be plugged into the pipeline. So for example, if you want your custom resolving ground truth, then you can define it here, and that's what it did. It defined the function here. It also tells you why it defined the function, because the default resolver doesn't filter by subject, so it needed to add that. And it did that, and then it also added a function for aggregating the snapshot, probably because of the same reason. And now, as you can see, and that's what I alluded to earlier, now you can wire these functions that you defined into the configuration, and that means that the real-time service will now use this aggregate and this resolve ground truth instead of the one that was configured previously. And lastly, since we're predicting in 15-second intervals, there is another prediction that you need to make here. The subject is ETH/USDT every 15 seconds, and we resolve it every 120 seconds. Okay, so we got two files already. There's a test file. Let's not go into that because, let's look into the scoring. And it changed the scoring by also adding the symbol in the prediction of the ground truth and in the prediction of the score result. And never mind this, that's an edge case. It adds now the subject, and then it does two different scores, and then it adds both scores to the prediction score result. Relatively simple, pretty straightforward to add this. Let's also quickly check in here. Let me refresh. And now we see that we have the ETH score, the BTC score, the actual return, the prediction, and the score over 1 hour. And with that, that concludes this section. And in the next section, we will dive deeper into how to get this deployed, how to register this as a coordinator and get this crunch deployed into DevNet and mainnet. Thanks.